Hi everybody. Be nice. Sorry, it's my cats. The many of them. So, I can invite. People wanted me to invite them, so I'm going to invite real fast. Let's see. Alright, there we go. Hi, how's everyone doing today? Okay, there we go. So, how's everyone doing? There's been some crazy energy that, for example, my cats, they need to calm down. There's been some crazy energy lately. I mean, my sleep schedule is like super messed up. It's like my body is already trying to prepare for Egypt. Because their days are our nights and our nights are their days. So, my sleep schedule is really messed up. I'm still a little tired right now, but I'm up and ready to assist the world. And it's also, I've noticed that with how the energy is, everyone's beginning to sleep less and eat less. It seems like we don't need as much sleep, but because we're used to having so much sleep, we get tired when we don't have that much sleep, and then we eat less. I know I have been. I haven't been eating very much at all, and my body's still doing just fine. I'm able to do things like usual without getting low on energy. I think it's just us finally coming into our light bodies and our merging in with our higher selves. And yes, Jennifer, thank you so much for reminding me, because I was thinking that I wanted to mention it on this video. So Jennifer Kozolari, I don't know if I'm saying her last name right. She just posted in the comments about her app. She has this subliminal manifestation app, and I've been thinking about it because I have been using it, and since I've been using her app, it has seriously, it's like supercharged my manifestations. And you can make these are subliminal vision boards app. That's what it is, subliminal vision boards app, and they're subliminal vision boards, and you can add music or the solfeggio frequencies, and then affirmations and all different kinds of really awesome things to help supercharge your manifestations. They've helped me a lot. I mean, not even with just manifesting, but helping to maintain that mindset. You do 5 minutes a day, and it seriously, I love it. She's really awesome for creating that app for everybody. So you should definitely check it out. You can get it on the Google Play Store. It's the Subliminal Vision Boards app. And I wanted to mention checking out the Divine Directory, which again I'll post some links to that on this video afterwards. The Divine Directory is a bunch of beautifully gifted people who are in service to humanity, coming on and doing live videos, spreading knowledge, helping humanity in all the ways that we can and we are able to. So definitely check out Divine Directory on Facebook. and that has Hope Evolve, that has Angel Feather Vision. For those of you who have watched my videos, I talk about those a lot because they're really, really beautiful and great movements in service to humanity, and it has all of that for Divine Directory. So it has David Hopkins, it has Eddie Hinesley, it has Nikki and John, or JB and Starseed, some people may know them as. So, anyways, I love you all, and thank you for coming on, and thank you for sharing, for those of you who have shared. So, yeah, the title. So, first of all, I guess I want to start by saying that out of the twin flame relationship that I am in, I am the runner flame, and I just recently realized this. And whether you believe in twin flames or not, just the idea of it explains so much. Like, I'm the runner flame, but I was also the spiritual flame. Like, there's a matrix flame, and there's a spiritual flame, and then there's a runner and a chaser flame. And I love you too, Rory. You're freaking, that's Shaman Poet. He's amazing. He's a beautiful channel for light and love. Check him out. He's on Divine Directory as well as Carrie Ann. They're all amazing people helping humanity in amazing ways. Definitely check them out on Divine Directory. So I just realized this recently. There is the runner. Well, I just realized that I was. Sorry, I was reading the comments. That I was the runner flame, and I thought about it, and I looked back on my life, and it explained so much. And whether you believe in twin flames or not, I think that this will help you, because there are those people that just run without knowing it, and then there are those that know it. And so this is coming from a runner flame. These are the runner flames tend to be the ones that don't believe in twin flames, that try to push people away, are always reaching higher, always wanting to, grow and learn more, and wanting change, and the runner flames are the ones that, like, for example, run away from home, or tend to start out by not obeying authority. But that's, again, with many different characteristics of a certain other aspect. And but it can get destructive. So the runner flame has traits that help us reach far and wide in our spiritual path, in our path in life. And sorry, I'm getting a phone call, I think. I can't stop it. Okay. Enough of that. I'm doing a live video. And so the runner flame, dang it, I lost my train of thought. The phone call is a distraction. And the runner flames, they tend to run away all the time, whether they are consciously aware of it or not. And sometimes this running, like I said, takes us far and wide in everything. In all aspects of our life here on Earth and elsewhere. This is her. It shows that I'm freezing, so I hope that everything's alright. But then for the running, of course it can be destructive. For being the runner flame, it can be destructive as well. And we, as being the runner flame, we can go into denial about the whole twin flame concept, or who our twin flame is, or the fact that anybody has a twin flame, or that we need our twin flame, or, things like that. And, whether we as as the runner flames are consciously aware of it or not, we're running all of the time. And it's actually a really beautiful trait to have, just as much though as being the chaser flame or the other half of the flame. The chaser has its destructive things as well. And, with being the runner flame, we tend to just run all of the time. And here, I'll give you examples. So, in my childhood, I was always running away from home. I was always running from relationships. We can get good at convincing ourselves of why we're doing it. In all reality, we're still running. We may have really good, reason to be running away, but we're still running away. And I was running away from home in my childhood a lot. I ran away from home a lot. And, so that's just a trait in and of itself. I was running from relationships because they kind of make us face ourselves. I was running from myself by doing different forms of drugs, so to speak. I was drinking and everything like that. And I denied a lot of things that came to spirituality. Sometimes, okay, so for example, me being a runner flame, and I've noticed with other runner flames, this is true as well. So before we awaken, we're running from everything, including spirituality, because we don't want to face ourselves. But when we begin to awaken, we start running upwards. Like, we're always trying to reach higher, always trying to get something more, always wanting, new and better things, higher consciousness, just everything that goes along with that, and that's what I'm saying is that's a good trait to have. But of course, bringing in the balance, that's where the other flame and the other part of us comes in, to where we bring in the balance of where we do ground and we bring everything together and ground it in. But as a flame that is the runner flame, it's, trying to reach higher, trying to explore, and always learning, always growing, always actually wanting change once we wake up. When, we're always running some sort of way, and it's kind of, I think if I was the chaser and I had to have my twin flame be the runner, I think it would be a very beautiful thing to watch, because it's just everywhere, that it's omnipresent, really. It's kind of a beautiful thing, and being a runner flame, it's a beautiful thing to feel, though it does get destructive. And if we don't bring in that balance and this awareness, and the runner flame is always looking for more or less, and they tend to not be able to stay put, it gets difficult for them to just take a step back and ground. The runner flames are usually the ones that don't want to ground either, because technically it's not their job to ground. That's the chaser. But bringing in that balance, it is important. And the runner flames... Shadow! Come here, Shadow! I need to make sure she's okay. My other cats, they don't like new animals, but they're still warming up to her. So I just need to check on her. But yeah, and it's really funny that lately I've actually seen a lot of the runner flames, myself included. I went through this not that long ago. We actually question everything. We're always questioning things, and I'm not saying that the chaser doesn't, but that's just a trait that a runner flame has, is that we're always questioning things. Even the fact that we are even with our twin flame, or if our twin flame is even real, even though they're right in front of us, we're running away from it, We're like, just that part of us that's always running, we're just, but it's either running towards something or running away from something. No matter what it is, we're always running. And sometimes we run away and we run back again, and then we run away and we come back again. And it's all part of the beautiful journey that we have here. But it is really, and then I've noticed as well with runner flames, they actually tend to, when they run away from themselves, they run to somebody else. And I guess this is a trait that really everyone has because of the conditioning. But they tend to, even without knowing it, they run away from themselves, and that's when it gets, destructive and, unhealthy, so to speak, because when we're running away from ourselves, and that means running away from our twin flame. If we aren't okay with being in the presence of our twin flame as our other half, then that's running away from ourselves, because they are us. They are our divine mirror. Everyone else can be and is our divine mirror. In the universal, viewpoint of it, everyone is twin flames because we all stem from that one source. But I'm talking about, just the individual concept of twin flames. And with the masculine and the feminine as each individual being, and here on Earth. And and being the runner flame, it's hard. It seems to be harder to remain present. It's because we're always just wanting more, and that's actually something that all humans have. We're always wanting more, but with the runner flame, it's a lot more so. And so as a runner flame, I was running away from home a lot. Now on my spiritual path, heck, I think I'm going to be running for the rest of my life. I'm just the runner flame. I'm going halfway across the globe to Egypt to run, to explore, to play, on this beautiful place we call Earth. And it's just and see, but it all depends on how we go about it, because the runner flames tend to be the ones that are really focused on the future or the past, especially when it comes to the relationship of it, whether it's the friendship or the romantic relationship of the twin flame relationship, whatever it is. And then the chaser flame is the one that grounds it and is actually finds it a lot easier to be present. And flying. I love that. I love that, Jennifer. I love that. Instead of running, it's flying. That's yes, definitely. And we're always, and me being the runner flame in my sorry, I was reading the comments. In my relationship, I'm flying, like, and I woken, and I'm allowing it to become more constructive than destructive, and letting it flow. And this is where I come in and I help you to, figure out how to stay put, how to remain present, and how to remain standing firm and strong exactly where you are when things hit the fan. It's shadow. Man. So the first thing, though, to do is to recognize it. Recognize, okay, yeah, you're right. I've been running. Look back on your life, and you'll see if you were the runner or the chaser flame, or a runner or a chaser person. Because, like I said, whether you believe in twin flames or not, this is good for really anybody who runs or chases in any area. And look back on your life and see, see if you were running or if you were chasing. And you really have to, look at everything, because until recently, I wasn't able to look back on my life. I was like, well, I was justified in doing that. Maybe, but I was still running. I was still running away. And one of my favorite things to do was when I feel like Carrie Ann, when I felt unloved or unappreciated or like I deserved better, I ran away. I either ran out ran and went to go take a walk, which is good, but or I ran away from the relationship and I left it. A lot of those had good reason, so it was a good thing to run away, but for example, with my twin flame, that's not the best thing to do. I developed a habit out of that. I let the runner part of me take over and consume who I was in relationships. And facing my flame, that's not the action to take. When you're facing really anybody, that's not the action to take. It's really important to stay grounded, to stay let's see. Trying to see if I can force to be with me, and the light in me won't let me force anything. I rather my flame be fully persuaded. That's the only way I'll be with him. Okay, well, the thing about runners is that when they find their chaser flame, even before that, though, they can find the balance of being grounded. I have found that balance of being grounded, and I know when to stay put now. It's just, this is an example for those who, are still struggling to be a runner. You know, they can't stay put. And, you know, and I've noticed too as well, runner flames get a lot of anxiety with everything because we're always overthinking things, we're always looking deeper, always reaching higher or lower. And anyways, the first thing to do is to recognize it, because you can't, you know, if you don't know it's there, you can't do anything about it, right? So what I did is I realized that a lot of them were justified, so it served me very well in certain situations. But other situations where it would have been the better idea and it would have been more constructive to just stay put, hold my ground, and remain centered and grounded, and allow myself to stay, even though the runner in me was just, you know, trying to like kick me in the butt to keep, just run away, you know, just go away. And so recognizing it is really, really important. It takes, maybe it takes you a little bit of time, maybe it takes a longer amount of time to recognize it. And I guarantee that there's going to be at least some flames that are going to watch this video that are runners and are just going to brush it off. That's another runner trait. And it's just, you know, we don't want to face the idea of twin flames, and it's very strange thinking about it at first, because we're just so used to running, you know, but and we don't even sometimes know that we're doing it anymore because we were born a runner flame. But with recognizing it, we can, oh boy, sorry, I need to get my kitten. She's a little troublemaker already. Owie, my goodness. Oh boy, it's like having a baby. A human baby. We have 8 animals now. But so, you know, recognizing it, that's like just a big step in and of itself for runner flames. Because Lisa, yes, I do readings. I do lots of different services for humanity. You can check it out on my website. It's www.theinneressence.net. Anyways, and you know, it's a really big step for runner flames to even recognize that they've been running, and recognize even that they don't need to, you know, to recognize that they don't have to anymore, or realize that they don't even want to anymore, because it's just running, and it gets exhausting. You know, you run too long, you start to get exhausted, and that's where you need to like learn to ground and center and stay put. So recognizing is the big step, you know, acknowledging it, saying, yeah, okay, I have been running in this situation, or I have been running in my life. I've been running away from my flame, and with that, recognizing is the biggest step, I think. It's always that big leap of faith, you know, to admit something to ourselves, you know, to admit that we've been doing something that isn't productive. But what's beautiful is after that we can do something about it. And the next biggest step to, you know, learning to stay put and learning to bring in the balance is forgiveness. Because with forgiveness, you know, we see and we're like, wow, I missed out on a lot because I was just running. You know, I missed out on beautiful experiences because I was running. Or things probably would have worked out a lot easier if I wasn't running. And that's where forgiveness comes in. Forgiveness and knowing that it happened exactly the way that it should have. That everything happens in divine timing, and especially with this, it happened exactly the way that it was, or that it should. And forgiveness is important because we can get stuck in the recognizing part. We can get stuck in the saying, oh great, I did this and I missed out on so much, and I've been way up in the sky when there's been really things that I needed to tend to on the ground, and then we can begin to regret it, or we can forgive ourselves. We can say, all right, it's all part of the process. I've recognized it now, and now it's time to bring in the balance to make it more of a productive trait. And, that was really key for me, was forgiveness, because I saw that I was running, and I began to, once you stop running, you start flying, that's for sure. Being in denial, that's a huge one as well. Lots of flames are in denial about even the whole twin flame concept. But, lots of runner flames anyways. Forgiveness is the next big step that's really important, because we begin to realize a lot. We begin to realize what we've missed out on, what could have gone better, anything along the lines that makes us feel bad about running, that makes us feel bad about ourselves, about running all of the time. And then the step after that, it's like, okay, I've forgiven myself, now what do I do? Gratitude. Being grateful for it. If you can't forgive yourself, try to switch to gratitude. If you can't switch to gratitude, try to forgive yourself. They go hand in hand, because when you're grateful for the run, when you're grateful for being the runner, when you're grateful for what you have experienced, it helps you to fly, just like Jennifer says. It helps you to be free. We're running, but yet we've been caged. But when we forgive and we be grateful for it, we are free. We forgive ourselves, and we begin to give thanks to ourselves for allowing ourselves to learn the lessons that we have from the journey that we've had. And sorry. And so gratitude, it's really a beautiful thing once we look at it. It's really the twin flame relationship is really beautiful, but whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, no matter what, either way, I think that it's really beautiful for both sides of the flames, and for being grateful, we begin to, really see that beauty. We begin to really step into our power rather than running from it. We don't realize we're running from our power. Runner flames tend to spend our entire lives trying to run towards something. Like we're trying to find the very things that we would find. We're trying to run towards the very things that we would find if we ran inward and downward and centered. We're trying to run towards those things, but really we're running away from them. And it's just facing ourselves is really, really important. And it's a daily thing, it's not just going to happen once and, okay, your work is done. No, that's another beautiful gift that we've been given as runners, is that we can always have room to grow and learn and expand, and always have the beauty of flying high and reaching low, and being grounded and running all at the same time. And and we have both aspects. We have the runner and the chaser inside of us. We have the masculine and the feminine inside of us, and it's important for us as individuals to balance them out, because that is where we bring in, harmony. That's where we bring the harmony in. Everything is working in harmony together. And so forgiveness and gratitude, or recognizing, acknowledgement, forgiveness, gratitude, and then the next step is to balance. You balance it out. You find out, you make a conscious choice to bring balance into your life. That's been really important for me lately, is, making a conscious choice to bring balance into your life. And what that means is that when you realize you've been running in a certain area and you've been grateful for it and you've brought forgiveness into it, you begin to teach yourself and train your mind and your emotions to kind of settle back and stay put. Stand your ground. That can be really hard at first. It was for me. All I wanted to do was run. But all I wanted to do was run. But I noticed that things were so much more better and so much more fluid and just harmonious whenever I decided to just stay put, and when we decide, and use our discernment on when it's time to stay put, then we bring that balance back into our life. Staying put is really powerful when runner flames do it, because it takes a lot of strength, a lot of courage, and a lot of love for self and others to stay put when the runner wants to run, and so making a conscious choice to bring that balance back into your life when you are the runner flame, learning when to stay put, teaching ourselves when to stay put and when it's right to stay put and stay grounded instead of running away from ourselves or away from others or our emotions or anything like that. Recognizing it is the most important part of it, because sometimes we don't even realize when, where, how we're running. But without recognizing it, we can't heal it, learn from it, rise above it. And that goes with anything, really. And so recognizing it really is the most important part. That goes hand in hand with acknowledging it as well, because we can see it, we're like, oh, I'm running, but I'm going to run from that too. I'm going to run from knowing I'm running. I'm going to ignore it or be in denial about it. Those are all ways of running. Avoiding, denying, ignoring, all of those are running traits. And, yes, once you recognize it, you have a choice. And forgiving and bringing gratitude in brings that choice into self-love, and that's already a tremendous step to bringing balance back into your life as a runner, and with then making the conscious choice to bring balance back in, it is at first it may be hard, it may seem hard, because all you want to do is run, all you want to do is hide, run, whatever you do as a runner, as an individual person as well. It just a matter of seeing what happens when you decide to stay put. When you're like, okay, well, I notice I want to run right now. Let's see what happens when I stay put. Let's see what happens when I stand my ground. Let's see what happens when I stand in my power rather than running away from it. Let's see what happens when I see someone else stand in their power rather than running away from it. And doing that over and over helps us to balance out, and we're less exhausted because we're not running so much. We're less exhausted because we're not trying to run away. We're not trying to fight anything, or we're facing ourselves with love and compassion so that we can do that for the chasers, so that we can do that. And I think I'll do a whole other video about the chasing flames, but this one's for the runners because I am a runner flame, and I can seriously relate to those that remain in denial and remain ignoring, avoiding, just running, reaching high, flying, soaring, all of the traits of the runner. I can seriously relate to them because, most of the time we are running from fear, and but facing it is really important. Picture yourself as a child facing its fear of the dark. There's nothing to be afraid of, but facing it helps that fear go away, And Cheryl, if you're happy where you are, you won't run. That depends on what you mean by that, because you can be happy where you're at, but if you're not happy with yourself, eventually you'll lose that contentment, you'll lose being humble, and you'll want to run again. That's the trait of a flame relation, of the runner flame, is we can be happy, but it's only for a moment, because we need to bring that happiness within ourselves. We have to be able to face ourselves every single day so that we can face others and face situations that seem difficult where we want to run. And making that conscious choice to fear. There's nothing to fear. There never really is. There's nothing to be afraid of in this world. Fear it protects us from natural danger, but for like if we're gonna get bit by a snake, it keeps us from standing there and letting it happen, or being attacked by a bear. It keeps us from standing there and letting that happen. But the rest of it is unnecessary. There is nothing that needs to be feared. And so that shows us that we have nothing to run away from, But it's part of the process. It has served us, and it will serve us. Yes, fear is an illusion. It will serve us from this point forward. But bringing really awareness is one of the most important things, I think, to leading a life that we really truly love and desire, and a one of love and compassion and abundance. Awareness is really key, and that goes for runners especially because we run even when we don't think we're running. Whether it's running inside of our own heads by not staying present, or running physically by traveling the world. There's nothing wrong with it. There is no right, there is no wrong, really. But everything has its consequence. Everything has its effect from the cause. And if it's undesirable, if you're running on empty, for example, if you are exhausted, if you're just so tired of not getting what you want, of running all of the time, even if you're aware of it or not, then, making the conscious choice to do something about it is important. And, with making this conscious choice to bring balance back into our life, it may be difficult at first. You know, it may be difficult because you'll want to run, you'll want to hide, you'll want to ignore, you'll want to avoid, you want to say, I don't deserve this, I deserve more, I deserve better, which may be so in some cases, which is where it serves you. But really bringing that awareness in, the recognition of how you are, who you are, helps you to recognize if that is going to help you in the situation, or if it is going to if it's going to help you, or if it's going to just make things worse for you. You know, this is to help you as an individual person, as a runner. You know, I'm a runner, so I can relate. I can relate to those of you who are angry about this video, those of you who are angry about even or in denial or anything like that. That shows the runner characteristics, that shows the runner traits, and they're more destructive because facing ourselves helps us to find happiness. You know, that's just inside of ourselves. You know, you can't squeeze something out of a lemon that's not already there, you know, and so anything that comes out is already there. And you know, it'll seem hard at first to stay put, but keeping at it and using discernment and bringing more forgiveness and more gratitude and more self-love into it helps us to find that happiness, find what we're trying to run to find, what we're trying to fly to find. It helps us to stay put when things hit the fan. It helps us to stay put. And whether we believe it or not, it is important to have that balance if we want to be happy. And you know, and to run away from our twin flame relationships, if we know they are our twin flame, but yet we deny it, you're probably a runner. And you know, we just have to retrain ourselves. That goes with everything. If you are the spiritual flame, you already understand this. You already know that we have to retrain our minds from the old habits and patterns of thinking, and retraining ourselves to stay put and bring conscious choice and awareness to staying grounded when we need to, so that we can get things done, so that we can have things taken care of in a productive way, in a way that serves the highest good of all. We lead happier, healthier, more just relaxed lives. You know, it's a lot more relaxed. You know, it's not good to always be running. It's not good to always be flying. We get tired. We do. And that's when we start to run out of steam. That's when we start to feel unhappy. That's when we start to not know what to do next. That's our time of pause and our time of grounding and our time of solitude to stop running and take a break. And you know, the runner flames, it's so important for us to recognize it, because when we recognize we've been running, we can do something about it. And we can do something about our happiness and our inner worlds of whatever it is for each individual person. And how I know that this may help others is because it has helped me. I've noticed that a lot of things have gotten so much easier when I decided to see what happens when I stay put. You know, to see what happens when I stand my ground, or to see what happens when I ground, when I come back to earth, to see what happens. And guess what happens? Balance, harmony, happiness, tranquility, you know? So, just making those conscious choices to do something about it is so important. And know that there's nothing to fear. Know that everything is exactly the way that it should be, and know that it's all part of the journey, and that you are loved no matter what. You're always supported. You're never alone. You are perfect, you know? So I hope that helps some of you. That's all I have to say today. Let's see, I've been going, wow, almost an hour. I need to plug my phone in real fast. I always feel like I have more to say, but I hope that helps some of the runner flames. It may make some of the runner flames angry. It may make them go into denial. That's just a trait of a runner, and it'll all happen all in divine timing. But regardless if you believe in twin flames or not, if you're running, if you want to find happiness, if you want to find harmony, and if you're exhausted, then make those conscious choices to ground and center and stay put, you know. It's just a process of rewiring our own brain, and it can happen by making conscious choices to change the way we react about things and change our perspective on things. You know, changing our perspective is also seriously important as well. And so that's all I have for everyone. I hope that this helps some of the runner flames. I'm going to do another video later sometime for the chaser flames. I may bring my twin flame, who is the chaser, in for that one, see his perspective on it. And you know, I hope that helps all of you looking at why you're running, how you're running, what you're running from. All of those things is so key, just as much as gratitude, forgiveness, and then conscious choices to do something about it. So I love you, runner flames. Know that you're not alone, and if you ever struggle with this, please feel free to come to me, because I can relate. I've been there, and it's a struggle sometimes, but you know, you can do this. You got this. You know, it's time for us to bring this balance back in. It's time for humanity to find balance once again, so that everything is in harmony, so that everything is in oneness. And so yeah, I love you all, and thank you for coming and listening and sharing. For those of you who are asking about my services, I'll post the link right here in the comments. I do a bunch of different things. I do readings with and without tarot cards or oracle cards, past life healing, Reiki healing, chakra healing, all different kinds of things. For those of you who were interested in the comments. So before I leave, does any of the runner flames here have any questions for me? I'll be more than happy to answer and cover anything that I may have left out with confusion and things like that. So anyone, even if you're not a runner flame and you have a question, just go ahead and comment below and I'll answer. I'll give it a second. And again, thank you all for coming on and sharing and supporting. I appreciate it. I'm grateful for each and every single one of you that has showed up here today. And I thank you for facing yourself. I thank you for being here on earth. I thank you for being of service in the way that you are. I thank you for simply being. You are all amazing, and you are all beautiful, and you are all important. When am I going to Egypt? I am going in July. I'm super excited about it. I want it to be July already. Like, I want to go already. So, I'll give it a little bit to see if anybody else has any more questions. Is there a method you use to bring yourself back when you find yourself starting to run? Well, I decide, okay, it depends really. If it has to do with anger, developing this awareness beforehand in little areas helps you to develop it in bigger areas. So for anger, I realize, oh my gosh, I'm shouting, I'm doing this in the opposite way of the way that of the way that I want things to be, and so what I do is I bring this awareness in. Once you bring this awareness in, that honestly just shifts everything. I promise you, that just shifts everything. Because when I see I'm being angry and I allow myself to say, okay, I'm being angry, that changes it completely. I allow myself to say, I allow myself to see this and say, okay, this isn't how I want to be. This isn't the way of doing it. I'm just running away. So now I need to make a choice. Am I going to stay angry, or am I going to breathe, listen to what the other person has to say, hold my tongue, stand grounded, and bring myself into my heart space, bring myself into the love that I have for myself and others, and for this life, or whatever it is that you have love for. That helps as well. If it's with sadness and feeling unloved, that I found was the hardest thing to work with when it came to bringing awareness to. What I do now is that I tell myself the things that I yearn to hear. I tell myself I am loved, I am cherished, I am grateful, I am never alone. That's a really good method for when we feel unloved and we want to run away. We give ourselves what we're wanting, and it helps. You wouldn't think that, if you haven't done it before, you wouldn't think that it helps, but it does. It helps you to stay grounded and stay put, because you don't have any space to run. You're so busy, telling yourself, I'm loved, I'm appreciated, things like that. I am worth it, I am worthy, and things like that. So I hope that helps you. It depends on what it is you're running from, and just looking at it. Meditation helps to bring awareness to everything, and meditation is just being fully present and not stuck in our heads. Not thinking about the past, not thinking about the future, thinking about right now. And that helps with everything, really. Is it worth to stay put just as well for one who is a chaser? Yes. The chaser is the one who it's just as simple as finding it easier to stay grounded. It is important for both, and really everybody, twin flames or not, to stay grounded and stay put rather than running. There are times where it serves us and it helps us, but in those areas where it's not, it is important to stay put. Though I personally think the chasers need to explore more. But that's a runner perspective. What's the main reason for running? It all really truly depends. I think it really depends on the childhood of the runner. It could be running from being hurt. It could be running from being loved, which is really the same thing, because you're going to get hurt if you're going to be loved. It's life. It's the beauty of this earthly life. There's beauty in the pain because it helps us learn, it helps us grow, it helps us release. And it depends on the runner as an individual person what the main reason is for running. It could be fear, it could be, well, that really is mostly what it is. It's fear or never really being content or happy, so it's different for each individual flame or person. Is it possible to be reunited with your twin flame even when you have met them? What do you... I don't understand. Wait, do you mean haven't met them? If you haven't met them, then yes. It's just the journey is within, and the journey is with yourself before anybody else. So we have to bring this healing and this awareness in before we even meet our flame, because we're not if we're focused on running away from our divine mirror, then we're not going to have that divine mirror there. We are our perfect mirrors, and everyone else around us is our perfect mirrors as well. If we see it that way, if we allow ourselves to be open to that and learn from everything and everyone. So, yes, it's possible, but the journey is within. You have to reach in, meet your flame. It's your soulmate, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want at this time and this period. Caught up in wanting to run again. I've been told I need to communicate my reasons to not just disappear as I have. Yes. That's part of staying put, because when we run, we don't want to talk. Or when we run, that's all we want to do is talk, but not about the issue, not about what's really going on. And it is important to stay put and communicate when we find ourselves wanting to run, when we see that it's not the best idea to do. Ooh, that's a good question, Jasmine. I am not the runner. How do I help the runner? So I noticed that how my chaser, how the more grounded flame in my relationship has helped me is by showing me, is by being themselves. It's just by showing how to remain grounded and finding a sense of humor in it, and helping the runner to not take everything so seriously, and helping the runner to feel loved and welcomed and have space and room to be themselves and have space and room to run, to fly, but help them do it in a more productive way, and just being there for them really is important. Finding a selfless moment to be there for the runner, and vice versa too. It's important both ways, always. So, yes, my twin is a runner and I am a chaser. At times we switch roles. Yes, that happens. That's balance. Actually, that's part of the balance. We all have the runner and chaser in us. We all have the masculine and feminine in us. We all have each part of the yin and the yang in us. We all have that in us. So switching roles, that just makes the twin flame game fun. And I say game because life really is a game. We're playing games with ourselves all the time. But not the games where it's like manipulative or anything like that. It's supposed to be fun. Life is supposed to be fun. And this is coming from a runner who takes everything so seriously. I always get told to stop taking stop taking everything so seriously, especially my mission here on Earth. I like to take it very seriously because that's what I'm on Earth for. But finding that sense of humor is important. That's where again that comes in. But yeah, switching roles, that happens in all areas. I've been the chaser and I've been the runner. Let's see. All right. If there's any more questions, I'll give it a little bit longer. Maybe on some things I didn't cover, but if there isn't, then I will let everyone go. I've been on here, an hour. So I'll get a second for if anyone has any questions about anything I didn't cover, if there's any confusion, anything of this sort. Alright, well, I don't see any more questions, so I just want to thank you all for coming on, and thank you for being here and just being here on Earth. Thank you for being you. You're all beautiful, you're all amazing, you're all important, and remember that it is all part of the process. So, I love you all, and have a wonderful and beautiful rest of your week. Namaste.